Hello, friends. It's time to talk in depth about The Little Mermaid. There were some people that felt I was not harsh enough on this movie. But don't worry, I got some notes for it. Although I did thoroughly enjoy it, and I still do think it's the best live-action adaptation that we've gotten yet, which that is to say, what is the point of live-action adaptations? That's a bigger question. We might get into that a little bit in this, because that's not to say that I'm super here for live-action adaptations, but this is one I was definitely excited to see as someone who obviously really likes The Little Mermaid, as is evident, I think, by my outfit and the fact that I have actually multiple sort of versions of a little Ariel costume. This is kind of like one of my simplest ones, but I kind of like how simple it is, to be honest. Yeah, this was not my favorite Disney princess, Ariel, but definitely one of my favorites and definitely one of my favorite Disney movies. So I'll let you guess in the comments who my favorite Disney princess is. See if you can get it. I actually kind of have two. I have two that are my favorites. My original favorite and my, I guess, current favorite now in the modern day. Child Amanda versus adult Amanda. Which princess was my favorite? Feel free to guess. But yeah, so what is the point of live action movies? I don't really know. I think they're mostly, honestly, a cash grab. But that being said, I do feel like a lot of heart was actually brought into this live action adaptation. And it is very interesting to see people do things that only happen in animation, because a lot of those things are so crazy. And some of those things translate really well when we adapt them and we just are wowed. And other things are a little weird in live action because it makes things a little too real, I find. So we're going to talk about that too. Let's start off by saying that yes, there were a lot of people in this cast that I really, really loved. I think the standouts for me were personally Daveed Diggs as Sebastian and Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Both of them were really amazing and kind of blew my mind. I really liked Art Malik as Grimsby as well, Sir Grimsby. So lovely. And then of course our main performers, our principal characters here, Ariel and Prince Eric, Princess Ariel and Prince Eric. Princess Ariel is played by Halle Bailey, who I thought did an amazing job, really nailed the tone of the character, really nailed the voice of the character. And Eric, which is Jonah Hauer-King, who I didn't know before this at all, but I did look him up on IMDb, and he's definitely done a few things. One of the things that you may know him from, that I heard about but I never watched, was the Little Women TV miniseries. Obviously, I've seen the movie that was recently done by Greta Gerwig, who I believe directed the movie, and I've seen that version, but I haven't seen the Little Women TV miniseries. Nor have I read the book, actually. I should do that, but I digress. So it was kind of cool to see him having this as like a big breakout role and just kind of having a really fresh face. I personally thought that was awesome. And I also wanted to give a little honorable mention to Javier Bardem, who plays King Triton and who I thought was quite great and just really nailed the voice of the character from what I remember. Like, he would say things and it would take me back to the animated movie in my mind, which I think is kind of what I want these movies to do for me. Live action, I think, is a hot button topic because people ask, like, who is this for? What is this for? I think the purpose of it, other than obviously making money, although you could argue any movie that is in a theater, that's kind of its objective at that point. Any movie that's made by a major production studio, it is about money. Making movies is a business at the end of the day. But I think the other point to it, if you want to say, not just the money, is the nostalgia element. And I think that is really important for us to think of when we're watching these, because I think that's kind of the purpose that they serve. At least, sorry, my back is itchy. At least that's the purpose for me that these films really serve, is, nostalgia. Was it nostalgic? Did I get sent back in time? And I feel for this movie I did, so that's why I enjoyed it. And that's why I think a lot of the other live action movies I don't think were as good, because they didn't really take me back in the same way. Let's talk about some terrifying moments that happened though. So one of the things I was saying was that there's some things that work really well in live action and some things that don't. Some of the things that didn't for me were really scary moments that as a kid probably scared me, but I think there was always this sort of level of disassociation because it's animated, so it kind of makes you go like, oh, it's like not a real shark, it's like, you know, a drawing of a shark, so it's less scary, I guess. And I was just curious, I talked about this in my car review as soon as I came out of the theater, but to expand on it, I was curious how kids in the theater, since I didn't see it in the theater where there were kids, because it was a VIP showing at Cineplex, which is like adults. Curious how they reacted to this, because I think it might be a little too scary, but I don't know. Kids are tough, so maybe this isn't too scary for them. So some of the terrifying moments I noticed were the shark at the beginning. Obviously, that was horrifying. That was a great white shark. Also, sharks getting a bad name. I felt so bad. Fish are friends, not food. I was like, no, you're undoing all the work that Bruce has done for us. Also, going into Ursula's cave I thought was pretty creepy. Ariel almost drowning when she gets turned into a human. The boat that catches fire when she goes up to basically save Eric's life when she's still a mermaid. These aren't in any order. These are just in the order I was thinking of them in. And Ursula as a human laughing at the end. That ha 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 ha. Oh my god, that laugh freaked me out. I loved it so much, but it was freaky. And also Ursula transforming back into an octopus lady and jumping off the cliff with Ariel. That was pretty scary. That was like, a what now? Seeing that happen was like, huh? Yeah. So, I don't know. Are those moments too terrifying? Do they lend well to like a live action adaptation? They're definitely interesting, but I think some of them, it actually kind of hurts the moment because I don't think they're meant to be that viscerally terrifying. Things that I enjoyed. One of the things I really enjoyed was Daveed Diggs' humor in this, and also just him and so Sebastian and King Triton like playing off each other for me were like some of my favorite moments. I really loved, Sebastian makes a joke at one point where he's kind of walking away, and I loved all the stuff he says under his breath, which also calls back to the movie. I remember that part of it distinctly. And when he's walking away, he's like, nah, I went and got an education for this. Like, now I gotta go watch a teenage girl. I just thought that joke cracked me up, and I thought it was so funny, and so I just wanted to bring it up. This film, by the way, I talked about in my car review, it's been going on for a long time, like the production on it. And it has been. It's we've been working on this film since 2020. Granted, of course, the global situation that happened with everything affected the filming. But as far as I know, I think it only shut down once. That's all I could find. It might have shut down more than that, but all I really found was like once for like a couple months. So that being said, I think something that really translates well and shows in this movie is that they actually worked on it for a long time. So since like 2020, I think they took their time with it. And I think that's why it's one of the best ones. And I think what we've learned is you put in the work, you take your time, you deliver a great product. You gotta put the work in, you know? You can't just speed everything up. Disney, I'm looking at you. So I think that speaks to it. And yeah, it was going on for a while. Original tunes that we got in here. So we've got Ariel's inner monologues, which, as you know, I was not a big fan of. Felt a little too theater-y to me, a little too musical theater. Like, now I'm going to sing about my inner monologue. And it kind of felt like we weren't trusting Ariel to do the acting work, because I don't think we needed those songs. Like, they were kind of cute. Like the one where Eric kind of comes in, I thought that little bit of the inner monologue was kind of nice. And where it's almost like Ariel's like alone. It's almost like she's communicating her emotion through the song of, you know, feeling like it's only her and Eric. Even though then he doesn't realize who she is. But that part I liked. The rest of it felt a little too on the nose for me. The rap, I only heard part of it because I was in the bathroom. But I came back and immediately was like, I'm so glad I caught the end of that. That was literally a thing I said, because I was like, I don't want to hear that. It did not sound good. But apparently it was fortunately a short song, and I will go listen to it at the end of this. So stick around if you want that reaction. I might play the reaction while I listen. Eric's song. So Eric has his own song in this, which I actually did like, but I wish they'd kind of done a little bit more, because it just felt like he was running like around. Like he's like, I'm on the rocks and I'm running down the path. And it just felt like not much was happening in terms of the action of the song. The song itself, though, I thought was good. it was enjoyable. It was nice. I don't know if I'll listen to it again, but maybe. My favorite songs were, of course, songs that already existed in the movie. I really loved their version of Kiss the Girl. I really loved Part of Your World. Part of Your World just sounded phenomenal. It sounded so good. I was amazed. And Kiss the Girl, I just loved the whole scenery and the way they did it in the film. Like, the action with the music, with the, like, nature as the percussion and bringing that all in. It just felt very good and very fun. I had a lot of fun during that song. Something that I really loved in this was how they gave Ariel and Eric more reason to be together. So they kind of connected them not just in the sense of they're both attracted to each other like physically and in terms of their appearance, but they're actually realizing they're both adventurous people. They both are explorers. They both want to see the world. They both have responsibilities that they really feel like, you know, although they care about the places they come from and they want to do what's right by those places, they want the freedom to live their life for themselves and do what they think is best. So that was really nice to see. The breaking of the geode, that moment was super cute, and I just thought all of that was really well done. And I love that they gave more depth to their relationship in this because, yeah, it just felt super cute and organic. It was fun. I loved when they went to the market. That was super cool. It was just cute. And Ariel just not giving up on that carriage when she got it. Oh boy, I was like, my life would be flashing in front of my eyes if I were with Ariel in that carriage. Eric took it well. Something that I also enjoyed was the mermaids being from different places and the fact that all of them kind of were supposed to represent different seas. That was a really cool thing. I didn't even notice that myself. Initially, Uptown Duck pointed that out to me, and when he did, I was like, yo, that's true. That's so cool. That's awesome. That was a cool thing that they did. They also had the mystery of Ariel's mother, who we don't know who she is, or, I mean, she has a lot of children that are, you know, from seemingly all different areas, so I don't know if Ariel's mother was just her mother, and King Triton had a bunch of wives, or if he just had one wife, and these are all their daughters, and they're like magical mermaid daughters, so they're all kind of like from different places. But that was really interesting to me, the mystery of Ariel's mother. We never really solved it, but it seemed to be kind of tied to Ursula being, you know, what's that called? When you're removed from a place. But it seemed to be kind of related to Ursula's exile. I think they happen around the same time in the movie. Not sure. I'd have to go back and double check that. But I feel like I remember them saying like 15 years ago, like Ursula was like exiled. And Ariel, I'm assuming, is supposed to be around like 16. So, and she didn't really know her mom. She just knows that, you know, she loved humans, and I don't think she ever really got to know her too much. So it was kind of cool that that mystery was not solved because it made us speculate, which I liked. But I don't know, I kind of wanted the mystery to be solved. I don't know. It was kind of nice that it wasn't, though. I like that they had it. I felt like it added a lot more depth to everything, and the fact that you have to kind of pick apart what's said and what's not said to figure it out. So the CG that I talked about that was bad was the whirlpool underwater at the end when they're fighting Ursula. I just thought Ariel with all the bubbles on her, I feel like she kind of had, it just didn't look right to me. It didn't look real to me. It broke the suspension of disbelief a bit in my brain. The one-for-ones, though, in this were quite good, I would say. The moment where Ariel's on the rock, wow, that moment was amazing. And she flips her hair. There was like a few one-for-ones in this that I was like, oh my gosh, like they crushed that. It looks so good. Ursula becoming giant at the end, I was not expecting them to go that far and let that happen and have it be that big, but they did, and it was horrifying, and it was great, and I loved that. I'm not sure how I feel about King Triton dying at the end and coming back to life versus getting transformed by Ursula into one of her little garden guys, which we never really talked about that in this version of the movie. I don't know if it was because it was too scary, but then they're also literally being chased by a shark at the beginning, so it was a weird choice. It was kind of implied, but it's not really established in the same way as it is in the film, where you kind of actually see it happen in sort of like a flashback. I think that Ursula shows in like her crystal ball or whatever she uses, her water thing, whatever she uses, her bubble. Is it a bubble? I don't know. Someone show a picture of what that thing is. But there's a whole part where she explains, like, these are people that once, you know, I tried to help them, but then they didn't go well for them, and then they become part of her garden. I remember that literally watching it happen and being like, spooky. So that was an interesting choice. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think just keep it the way it was. Why'd they do it that way? I guess because we didn't establish it? I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird choice. The other thing I didn't like in this, they kind of talk about ocean pollution a bit. Then they have their main character, Ariel, leave her dress in the ocean purposefully. Like, just like, no, I'm going back. I'm gonna leave that there. She could have put it anywhere. She could put it on the land. She could have laid it out. No. And the other thing that I thought was pretty crazy was she also gets the mermaid, and then she's like, oh, I can't keep this, and she like leaves it in the water. She's all sad. It's like literally littering Ariel. Come on. But then again, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because her sisters are the ones that are like, look, we got to clean up this ocean. This is not good. The humans polluting the ocean, which heck yeah we are. Is terrible actually. If they could see the oceans today, all the mermaids are gone now. That's probably what happened. Ugh, dark. But I guess it makes sense because, yeah, they're the ones that said, you know, don't do this. Whereas Ariel's kind of a hoarder when I think about it. So I guess it kind of makes sense she might be okay with polluting. She literally grabs, like, garbage that's thrown into the ocean and keeps it. And is like, these are my treasures. So just saying, a little bit of a hoarder mentality to her. Still love it. I get it. Look at my place. It's filled with stuff. Dingle hoppers galore. So that I thought was an interesting thing that just kind of, I don't know, irked me in an adult way. But I think if I were a kid, it wouldn't have bothered me, and I might not have even noticed that. All the random mermaids appearing at the end was also a weird thing that I wasn't super here for. It felt very cheesy, like we have to all say goodbye to Ariel now, and all the mermaids come up, and you're like, wait, who's that? Wait, I don't know any of these mermaids. We haven't seen any of them. I think just have her sisters and her dad there. I felt like that was enough. We don't need all these rando mermaids. I guess they wanted to imply that, like, you know, the mermaid kingdom is plentiful. There's many mermaids and mermen and merfolk, and look at them all here. But I understand. I don't need that. You also rule the whole oceans. There's a bunch of ocean creatures, so your kingdom is definitely plentiful. You have, like, tons and tons of ocean creatures that you rule. Triton, so, yeah. And I felt the ending was a little bit rushed. Kind of from the moment where we see Ursula laughing. Ha 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 ha. In her human form. From that moment on, the ending felt a little bit sped up. In a way that, I don't know, I just felt like there weren't as clear beats. Like it was kind of like this, and then this, and then this. Everything just one after the other. As opposed to it feeling like very distinct. And I guess it's because everything leads into everything at the end. But I don't know, the rest of the movie didn't have that feel. So it just felt kind of rushed. I don't know. I think a lot happens. I think that's kind of why. But that's my opinions. That's what I thought of the movie. Overall, I did enjoy it. But I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't have issues that could have been worked out. But I think for a live action movie, I'm going to say it was pretty darn good. To give you a perspective on what else I liked, I did like Beauty and the Beast. I did think that was pretty good. But those are really the only two that I've really enjoyed myself. But I'm the type of person, if I really don't like something, you're probably not going to hear me talk about it too much unless I feel like it needs to be said. Because I don't really like to focus on things that I'm not in love with. I just think the stuff that I really enjoy, I want to celebrate. And stuff that I don't really like, someone else might really like that. So I don't really want to tear it down. But sometimes some things need to be said. Gollum, I'm looking at you. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Let's listen to this rap. Let's get the cans on, boys. I don't know what to do. Oh, I think I gotta go this way. There we go. Oh! Can I listen to the rap? Let's find out. Oh no, I don't know. Scene. I don't know if there's a clip of it. Is this the Scuttlebutt? Oh, here it is, the Scuttlebutt. Alright. I'm gonna listen to this. I gotta say, I think this is actually better just listening to it than seeing it. I'm gonna say that. But it's not, there's much to be desired. But, because it feels like less of a rap. It feels like more of a musical theater song. So I feel like if I saw Awkwafina as a person pretending to be a seagull on a stage, I'd be more fine with this song. This might be a weird live action thing, again, that I'm like, the live action really ruins what they were trying to do here. Because now I'm imagining it. Oh gosh, no. This part is the worst part. I do like that part, it's funny. I mean, the ending of this also is, I mean, I can hear Lin-Manuel Miranda in this, but I kind of wish he was singing it, you know what I mean? And I love Awkwafina, but, oh boy. Oh, there's the video of it. There's a video. Well, you already heard me react to it, but here's the video. I do like that part. It's just so crazy. This is where it gets a little, I don't know about this part. Ah. That part's pretty good. Ariel's look. Remember when that was a corset? Is she wearing the corset? Oh, this is the worst part. This is when I came in. There are moments of it that aren't bad. There are moments of it that are terrible and I wish they never happened. All right, that's it. Stay nerdy. Bye.